Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. On this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I want to share with you one of my favorite childhood treats, which are Italian fried artichoke hearts. They are so good. They're in Naples, the way my family makes them, they're called dorate fritte, which means golden fried, because when they are fried, they become really golden because it's sort of like, you'll see. You'll see the ingredients, you'll see the method, and you'll see why they're called that. But they're really, really, really good. And it's actually a recipe that benefits not using fresh artichoke hearts, because if you use fresh artichoke hearts, you would have to boil them and cook them, partially cook them, and then cook them again, and then drain them, blah, 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 blah. So really the best thing to do is to use either canned artichoke hearts or to use frozen. So let me show you the ingredients, because aside from salt and pepper, you need 5 ingredients. It's amazing and they're so, so good. All-purpose flour. These are the artichoke hearts I'm using. These are actually in brine that I drain, and I rinse some of the brine off, but they work perfectly here. I love them so much. Lots of freshly grated Parmigiano, salt and pepper, and you're gonna need some eggs and some veg oil. Sunflower oil, safflower oil, or veg oil, peanut oil, anything clear, anything flavorless is what you want. I have some in my cast iron skillet coming up the temperature. I want this really nice and hot because the artichokes will literally cook within a couple of minutes, which is awesome. All right, all I've done to my artichoke hearts, I've unscrewed the lid, drain them, rinse them in the sieve with just regular cold water, just to not get rid of all the brine, but just a little bit. And then I put them on a paper towel lined plate just to absorb any extra liquid. So now I need to work on the eggs. Now to my eggs, I need pepper, a good pinch of salt, and I need Parmigiano. Now I'm not going to add any salt to my flour. You know, I normally would definitely season every layer of my dish, but because I'm using the artichokes that were in a brine, they're already salted. So really I just want to salt a little bit of the eggs, but I don't need to salt the flour, otherwise I would just get too much salt. But if you're using frozen, you want to make sure they are thawed, and you want to make sure that you salt the flour so that everything is perfectly seasoned. And then I need a good amount of freshly grated parm. I would say about a half a cup here, and it's really a step you cannot leave out, because what happens is the parm and the eggs kind of get together, and when you whisk them all together, they get really, really thick, and that's what you want because it's going to really stick to the artichoke hearts. All right, I'm just going to whisk them together until everything is really, really well combined. Perfect. Okay, now you can set that aside, and this isn't what my mother does. She does pretty much all at once. If you have a batch that's any bigger than this and you want to do this, you know, in 2 parts, but she just takes the artichokes, you want to dust them in flour, like so, then shake off the excess, and then just dump them into the eggs and leave them there for just a couple of minutes while your oil heats up. And that is as easy as it gets. Now we make these a lot around Easter, just because it's like when, you know, artichokes are back in season and spring, and it's awesome. And we don't use any dipping sauce for them. You can also use marinara sauce if you want to. You can use lemon, like lemon juice. You can make an aioli for it, whatever your heart desires. But we literally make mounds of these, and we just snack on them. It's kind of like, I always say this with fried food, you never leave the scene of the crime, because my mother makes them, my nonna makes them, and we just, you know, we're in the kitchen, we're around the table, and they get gobbled up. My mouth is watering. They get gobbled up the second they come out, and it's just like the best feeling. You know, it's like the best memories when I make childhood recipes or recipes I grew up eating. It's like I can actually envision standing there eating them with my cousins and my aunts and my uncles, and it's just, I think that's the best part of food, and it's why I share them with you. I love to share so much with you. It's because it's just transporting. All right, I'm gonna finish up flouring all of these. These are looking perfect. Now what I like to do, you can use tongs, but I've got this cute little whisk thing. It's actually the Pioneer Woman's cooking line, and I just take the artichokes and just add them, and then you can move them around, and it instantly cooks them, which is what you want. And then you want to also have a plate with some paper towels ready, because you need to get them out and get them, you know, drained. So I'm going to continue to add more, and then I'm going to cook them in batches. I'm not going to cook all of them at once, or my oil temperature will drop. And I'll show you what they look like when they're done. My second batch. These look fantastic. You can see they're really golden. Now these are not going to stay super like crunchy, kind of like if you were to do like a breadcrumb coating, they would get really, really crunchy, you know, but these are different. These remain a little crunchy, but just overall, they kind of almost melt in your mouth. They're just phenomenal, and you really need to give them a try. They cook in like not even minutes, like a minute or two. It's just so good. They're so easy. They're fantastic, and like I said, anything that helps, you know, without having to, anything that helps me not having peel and cook artichokes from scratch just to use the artichoke hearts. These are just pieces of egg, by the way. These are really good. I'm all for it, and this recipe just works really, really well with either frozen or, like I said, if they're in a jar or in a can. Just make sure that you drain them really well. That's all. And if they're frozen, they need to be thawed really well. That is it. They're just such like little lovely nibbles of yumminess. I'm gonna go for this one right here just because it's not as hot. Mmm. Hold on. Hot. I have every intention of showing you the inside. You see? You get like a really lovely golden crust, and then the inside is just like perfectly tender, and they don't take too long to cook because there's nothing on the inside that you need to cook. You really just need to, you know, cook the outside, cook that egg layer. So good. Just my favorite fried artichokes ever. Go to laurainthekitchen.com to get the recipe. Let me know down below if you grew up eating them in your family, how much you enjoy them, or what kind of treats you cook, you grew up eating that you cook now as an adult that just kind of transports you. This is one of them that I love so much, and I hope that you guys enjoy it as well. Like I said, the recipe will be on laurainthekitchen.com. Hope you enjoy spending time with me, and I'll see you soon. Bye.